Okay, so within the box, if you have two different virtual machines, black and red, even though you have, then you have to go to the router and do the routing here, and then you have to come back. Correct? So in order to avoid this, now we introduce NSX-T, which is nothing but the software-defined networking. So what this NSX-T will do, NSX-T will bring this routing feature inside of this, and this is called as distributed routing. Okay, and also whenever if you have any requirement to go outside world, for that we have different feature that is called as um, edge nodes. So here edge nodes will help you to go ahead and use the north south routing, and for east west routing we are using the DRs. So DR and SR, both the components are there, and this way we are going, we are having security as well. In security we are having distributed firewalling and gateway firewalling. Distributed firewalling is usually for east west routing, which covers at the NIC level, and the gateway firewalling is something north south. Okay, and it also provides many other features like IPS IDS, FQDN analysis, URL filtering. So under the umbrella of NSXT, you are getting more and more solutions. You don't need to go and have a different kind of this one software and all these things. So here, the even load balancing is no more now. Node, they are going to depreciate it. So AVI came into picture. So reason behind explaining NSX-T here is NSX-T is very good for our network environment, but again we need more speed. What we need more speed, and we want to deploy it in means number of ways. Means generally what's happening in data centers, we are having multiple clients, and generally what will happen, they have same kind of designs. Okay, not different designs. So how we are going to implement it? So if you are having NSX-T environment, so you can have hundreds of routers as well. Hundred of different clients are hosted on same NSX-T manager. Okay, so that deployment, how you are going to do? Are you going to do a click and then you complete the deployment, or how you are going to do? So the answer is you can do it through automation. In automation, you can go ahead and write the code, so that code will help you to do the writing. So what kind of codes are there? If you see, PowerShell is there. You can also have Terraform. You can also have Ansible. Okay, on top of this, if you want to do more automation multiple times, then you can go ahead and use Python as well. Okay, number of things are there which you can go ahead and use it here. So here my goal here to explain you is Terraform. So what is Terraform and how we can take benefit from Terraform, that I'm going to convey you here. So first, if you can see what is Terraform and why we are using Terraform. So Terraform is something tool which generally DevOps team was using. And who is DevOps team? A team who used to do the automate the tasks. What kind of task? Compute task, storage task, or any networking task. Okay, so these guys will do the automation with the this one. So this primarily they used to do it, but secondarily what happened, and it's written in the Go language. Terraform is written is Go language in 2024, and it's 10 years now. So it's created by HashiCorp, and it's open standard. So generally, if you have seen Azure and AWS, these guys are also using Terraform. Okay, so what we guys are doing, we are giving input to Azure and AWS. In background, do you think they are, is there any manual changes they are doing? No, they are using uh, 1 minute. Okay, what they are doing in data centers, let's try to understand that. So once our vision is clear that how it's happening, then we can be able to justify easily. So suppose this is data center. In this data center, you will have workload, you will have compute workload, you will have network workload, storage workload, or anything. Okay, so generally what happens, from the internet, any user will go ahead and give the input to the Azure. Okay, from Azure dashboard, or you can say orchestrator. This is Azure, and this is Azure's data center. Azure and its data center. If anyone wants to build a virtual machine, so what that guy will do, that guy with the help of web UI, it will go ahead and give the inputs to build the virtual machine. So do you think guys here IT administrators are sitting and then they are taking the accepting that request and they are implementing it? No, it's not like that. Even with immediate effect, that this requirement will get translated to the code, okay, and that code will go ahead and deploy the virtual machine on top of the compute. Okay, this is how happening. Same time, this virtual machine also demands something as a switch or router at networking level. It also demand load balancer at networking level. It also demand the storage at storage level. So who is going to fulfill all four tasks? So it's scripting. Okay, so don't think that it's only with Azure. AWS might be also using same thing, but I don't know their internal infrastructure. But as far as I know, they're also using Terraform, Python, and all these languages. That's the reason these guys manage to do the automation with really quick. A virtual machine which needs the networking, which needs VLAN, VXLAN. There are many other features are there which quickly getting deployed in the data center workload by your single click. Okay, so this is example Azure. So do you think guys this is only with Azure? Are we not going to do it in our private cloud? Okay, so what is private cloud? So let me go ahead and shift this somewhere. So there is another way is private cloud. So if we have private infrastructure, like Azure is having their data centers, like we are also having our own data centers. So what we are expecting, same user will go ahead and give instructions to us. Will also implement the virtual machine. Will also implement the router for that virtual machine. Will also implement the segment for that virtual machine. Will also implement the load balancer for that given virtual machine. Okay. Will also have storage mapping. So how we are going to achieve this? So the Azure is not going to share their capabilities and their whatever they did with us. So what we have to do, we have to use our own automation. Okay, and who is going to do that? So it's NSX-T who will help you to do the. It's VMware who will help you to do the virtualization of compute. It's NSA VMware who will do help you to do the virtualization of router. It's AVI who will help you to do the virtualization of load balancer. It's VMware or SAN or vSAN. They are going to help you to do the virtualization. So do you think guys, if you are looking to build your career in left side in your private cloud, then you can also do it. If you are looking at public cloud, then the problem is you don't have any information beyond this boundary. Okay, Azure is not going to share you what they are cooking inside. Okay, but if you try to do it, then everything is yours. You know about compute, you know about networking and everything. Okay, so generally it's two things: public cloud versus private cloud. In right side is the public cloud, okay, and in left side I have the private cloud. So slowly, if you see the reports and all these things, slowly people who are having, they are also using public cloud as well as private cloud. So that is called as hybrid. So why hybrid? Because they don't want their all workloads to be there with Azure only. They are also giving it to AWS or any other vendor, and also they are localizing their cloud inside of their environment. So how they are going to build that cloud? NSX-T is enough. NSX-T will provide you a UI, okay, like this. UI like this. This is a UI of NSX-T. So does this means you can go ahead and create the router? Yes, you can go ahead and create the segments. You can go ahead and create the routers. You can go ahead and create the VPN. All the networking functionality you can go ahead and do it with Azure. But how many times? If you have hundreds of customers, hundreds of clients, how you are going to fulfill the requirement? So the answer is Terraform. The answer is Ansible. The answer is scripting. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk more about scripting and all those things. Any question, guys? Okay, so I'll continue. So Terraform is one of IAC tool. You can say infrastructure as a code. So whatever infrastructure you have, that you can define by code. Okay, so generally Azure, AWS, these guys used to define, but now it's also in our hand. We can also go ahead and do it. So there is a Go language which is built by HashiCorp, and they are doing it. Okay, so they are going to Cisco and other VMware vendors, and then they are dealing with them, and then they are With the help of their language, they are talking to those vendors. That vendor list is very big. Okay, if you want to see that vendor list, you can simply go ahead and Terraform vendors. If you see Terraform vendors, you can see many Terraform providers. You can do the Azure, means you can do the automation. You can use the Terraform against or with AWS, with Azure, with Google, or there are a lot many things are there where you can go ahead and do it. If you want especially networking, then you can go ahead and filter networking. You can do the advanced load balancing, AVI, ACI. Okay, I'll click on ACI, and it's something where it's fully matured or in progress. If might be they have not done fully, so they are in progress with checkpoint, and slowly they are building their documentation. So checkpoint is not fully yet with Terraform, but you can see here ACI. If you go to documentation, you can create all these things with this configuration. Okay, if you want to create ACI filters, you can go ahead and use this code. You don't have to write your own code. Generally, we used to take help command from the Cisco CLI, and we used to get the configuration, but here you have to give the questions and answer, and then you can give it to ACI. ACI will create that filter. Okay, same way you can go ahead and check with NSX as well. Do you see even NSX-T here? Okay, multiple other NX OS is there and many other things. So NSX-T is fully matured with Terraform. You can go ahead and create the routers, BGP configuration, BGP neighbors. Okay, if you want to define the BGP neighbor, you have to simply write this code. Okay, and if you want additional configuration, then these tags and all other information, BGP path, allow in those small settings, hundreds of settings are there. You can go ahead and integrate it with as per your requirement. Okay, if you want to create the tier 0 router, go ahead and give it. If you want to create the firewall policy, gateway firewall policy, go ahead and create a policy. Inside of that, create a permit and deny rule. It's all up to you. So what is the benefit of it? Let's go ahead and see. What is Terraform again? The Terraform allows you to describe your complete infrastructure in form of code. In form of code. Generally, what happened, our legacy environment is following the old architecture where the control plane, data plane, and management plane is there with only one router. But with the help of NSX-T, we had divided it. Control plane and management plane is there with NSX-T, whereas the data plane is there with servers. Okay, so here generally we used to either you will go via GUI or CLI. Okay, but nowadays API calls you can also make, and then you can call that information if you want any interface statistics. So generally what happened, will go either by UI or CLI, but now with the help of scripting or your API call, you can go ahead and make it. Okay, so this is how, if suppose for example I'll take example that I do have one NSX-T with me. Okay, I'll make a postman call to get the list of my segments. Okay, so generally what happen, if you want, you can directly go and see it through UI. Okay, but if you want, you can also go ahead and do it through API call. But API is very robust, it's having many multiple things. Okay, you won't be able to do it. I think I lost that my workspace, I have not logged in. I'll close it. Okay, so API, it will take time for me to describe the API again. With the help of API, you can go ahead and call and get these all three segments information. Okay, so if you want, you can go ahead and search for the API guide with NSX-T. So here you will get all the API calls which you can make toward the NSX-T. If you want to, if you want any segment detail, firewall detail, any service detail, you can go ahead and call it. Okay, DSCP detail, subnet detail, connectivity status if you want, netting details if you want. So you can simply go ahead and get this API. So you'll come to know about that. Okay, let's move to Terraform back again. Okay, so Terraform will help you to design or in form of the code. You can define your whole infrastructure in form of code. Think of Terraform as a connective tissues and common language that you can utilize to manage the entire IT stack. So whole thing, if anybody, suppose I am having my NSX-T manager, okay, and someone is going to do a misconfiguration on my NSX-T manager, it's possible, right? Someone will go ahead and create one XXX segment and he forgot to do anything, okay, and later he forgot to delete it. So what happened? This is the unwanted change. Okay, this is the garbage value for me. So next time, so how you are going to deal with this? Until and unless you go ahead and clean this up, it's not going away. So, but it's Terraform who will maintain your infrastructure. Whenever if it's not written in Terraform language, then Terraform is going to delete this automatically. Okay, Terraform will detect that, yeah, somebody has did extra configuration and he's going to delete it. Even in firewall security rule, if you are having hundreds of ports, hundreds of rules, how you are going to maintain that this port is allowed with the help of your approval or not? So Terraform is going to take care of that. Okay, so how it's going to take care, I'll explain you again. So one of the main function of Terraform is a public cloud provisioning. Primarily, it works for public AWS and Azure, but now it's there with private as well. The secondary main use of Terraform is for to facilitate multi-cloud deployments. You can also use it in your private cloud. One of the main draws of Terraform is that to perform across all providers simultaneously. You can perform terraforming with compute, with network, with load balancers, with any other vendors, including the software vendors are also there. They are also using Terraform. You can see the huge list is there of Terraform support. You can go ahead and see the providers. You can also see not only network, they have database providers as well. They are also there with Terraform, Elastic, monitoring profile, monitoring tools. They are also working with Terraform. Okay, so whole data center you can go ahead and do with Terraform. So infrastructure as a code replace the standard operating procedure. So what is our standard operating procedure? We are generally going and logging into router, and then we are building the code, and same code we are following multiple time in Cisco or any other platforms, and we are continuing with manual efforts, okay, which require the our resource management and all the line. If anybody did the mistake in 2021, same mistake would be repeated multiple times. Okay, so that code copying, we are copying and we are continuing with that. So manual configuration will take time. Okay, so here infrastructure as a code will help you to automate the process of infrastructure management through a code. So what is code? Terraform code. So if you see the benefits of Terraform, you can see that team collaboration. So what do you mean by team collaboration? You can use the repository systems, Bitbucket or GitHub. So what exactly happening? For example, if I explain like this, so here you are having data center. Okay, so generally, this is your Bitbucket code. It's written here. So here you'll go ahead and write a 3 line in Bitbucket, okay, and you will ask your with the help of your laptop or your environment. Don't think it as an internet. Might be this is your internal MPLS or remote network, okay. So with the help of laptop, you'll write 3 lines here. These 3 lines you'll go ahead and give it to Bitbucket repository. Okay, this is over internet Bitbucket, and then this Bitbucket, and again from this router also you are going to push the configuration, and these 3 codes will be written in your data center. No matter compute code or whatever. You are suppose you are building 3 segments. Okay, so these 3 segments will be written in your data center, and that information you will go ahead and upload it to Bitbucket. So what's happening? What is the benefit of this one now? Once you uploaded it to Bitbucket, a second user will, a red user will also join from your teammate. You will go ahead and download these 3 codes, okay, and then he got these 3 segments, and again he will write the fourth one. Then he will go ahead and push that configuration to your production. The fourth segment will be written here, and he will also give it back to Bitbucket. Okay, if your third engineer, the green engineer joins, and then he will also download the same code. So the team collaboration will happen, and everyone will go ahead and download that code, and everyone will return simultaneously on this one. So this is called a central repository system, which generally software engineers will use. Software engineers will use to develop their softwares. But now this terminology is coming towards networking as well. So this is Bitbucket. Okay, so team collaboration is happening in that way. And here you can also put the approval phases as well. Who can do changes, who can view changes, and all these things. The Bitbucket repository you can manage. Okay, error reduction. If you are doing through this one, okay, so it will minimize the probability of errors. So if there is any error in your code, suppose I am writing this code, okay, generally in 15 minutes I have written this code. So if I am doing any mistake, so what mistake that is, if I forgot anything, then it will generate the error. It says that there is error in your code. So I'll go ahead and fix it. Until and unless I have not fixed it, it's not going to deploy. Okay, and easily you can delete this segment as well. This segment, generally I created it, I'll go ahead and delete it with the help of automation. Okay, disaster recovery. So guys, any question here on Terraform? Uddhav, Mubin?
Yes, I have one question. You said, right, the unwanted data Terraform will delete. So
Yeah.
even though through GUI or through CLI we saved that data, also delete from Terraform.
No.
So how
You,
Terraform will judge this as unwanted data, or what are configuration that we make it
yeah,
wrong?
because what Terraform is doing, Terraform is having the state information. So this is my Terraform folder. Okay, so it's maintaining the state information. State information means, suppose what you did, uh, you I'll go ahead and show you. So this is my segment number one, okay, which I have created on my NSX-T manager. This is my segment one, okay, and somebody went. This I created through Terraform, and somebody went and he renamed it to segment two. This has happened, right? Somebody did the UI change, but next time whenever I am going to perform my changes, whenever I am going to perform my changes, that time Terraform will detect that somebody, I written it as a segment 2, segment 1, and somebody change it to segment 2. So here he is going to replace it. That in my knowledge, it was segment 1. Who did it segment 2? I am going to change it back. I'll tell him that, yeah, somebody did it. Go ahead and change it. So now you can see that whatever manual changes was written, done, that is now gone. See, if I go ahead and refresh it, it's back to segment 1. So like this, in your segment, there are lots of profiles and lots of changes. So if anybody did any changes or anything, then Terraform is going to detect it, and Terraform is going to fix it.
So detection is fine because the Terraform found the configuration is wrong or updated one, right? But if
Yeah,
I publish here in GUI, then it might be correct, right? So
yeah, that
there is
is
no
that
make
is
sense to
given,
revert that configuration.
that is given in your consent, right?
Correct.
See, at least Terraform has to rely somewhere,
Yes.
either unwanted change, authorized change, or unauthorized change. If you are authorizing that change, then there is no mean of reverting that change. But see, here I'm not talking about creating one segment. Here I'm creating of 500 or 1000 segments,
Yeah.
right? How you are going to manage the this one? If you are having customers, you can go ahead and create hundreds of router within a minute. You can go ahead and create the number of tier zeros. Okay, you can create the firewall policies. All data centers you can go ahead and automate it. So what is the benefit of automation? The benefit of automation here is, there is a problem, pros and cons, both the things are there. Okay, so for example, I'll give you a prime example, like this is your data center and this is fully automated by Terraform. Okay, so what you can do is there are some automation tools, Jenkins or Rundeck, multiple tools are there available in market. So the tool will sit here. Okay, so you can go ahead and give that code to this tool, that this tool will have that code. So the engineer will come, any operation engineer, he will come and from his laptop he will simply give the input to this tool, and this tool will convert it to the Terraform language and it will push it to the production. This engineer don't know anything about the data center. The current way, Azure and AWS, we don't know anything. Same way, you can also plan like that, right? So the unauthorized access will be limited towards your data center. The well, less experienced engineers, 5 years, 6 years, they're also having access to your data center devices, and sometimes they will also make silly mistakes and all. Even we also do it, right? So just to avoid those things, this device will help you to automate these tasks. The pros is your data center is automated, but the cons are if you are here at this position, you will never come to know that what's happening inside of your data center, and you are purely relying on the tools. So the problem is here. If your profile is here, then you are in trouble. If your profile is here, then you are at good position. Any question, guys?
Okay, so Sabir bhai, I will have two, three questions. Okay, so just bear with me. So my
Yeah.
first question is like Ansible and Terraform. So in my company we are using both. I mean, not me, but like DevOps engineer. So for VRI, VROps, mostly Ansible is used for the automation, and for NSX side, I think they use Terraform. So like let's say if I need to decide one, so then I'm coming from engineer background. So like how Terraform is more beneficial than other tool, or like how it is in terms of
Okay.
the other tool.
First of all, Terraform is the open source. Okay. Second thing is Terraform is directly interacting with the your providers, VMware or any other providers. So Terraform is working at that level and then getting that product matured. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And though it's open source, you can go ahead and do it. And it's also saving the state information. State information, whatever code Terraform has written, that information is saved locally. Locally, or you are in your this one. You can see here, I do have state information. Okay, so whatever display name is there, it's already there with Terraform, locally saved with their IDs. Okay, so here if you want to destroy the things, you can go ahead and destroy it.
Okay, and let's say I have hybrid cloud kind of setup. So I also have NSX, my private cloud, and I also have AWS or GCP.
Okay,
So that I can deploy Terraform in different cloud, and I can use Terraform like
yeah,
as a one single automation tool.
yes,
Or
correct. Single automation tool. Even see, just generally we are having Elastic. Okay, Elastic Stack, or whatever you name it, vendor. That vendor you will find it here.
okay,
Okay,
so this list you showing, that means like this particular vendor supports the
yeah,
Terraform, is it right?
correct. Yeah.
So I don't need to deploy additionally anything like for Terraform. I mean, so if I'm using this vendor, then
Yes.
I'm supposed
Support
to get.
support without Terraform. Without Terraform, you decided to directly interact with through API calls. Okay, you told that I don't want Terraform anything, and you want to create the segment through API calls. But API calls are not user friendly. Do you see it here?
Yeah, and API calls actually more than user friendly. So the problem with API calls is it is very slow. So it works very slow. So it is
Yeah,
as
it
good as
works very solo, and there are
manually.
lot many errors will come and all those things.
Hmm.
Okay, for example, if I want to create a tier one, so here he has given the tier one how to you will go ahead and pass the put the tier one. Okay, how you can go ahead and create the tier one. Create is here. But what's about other information? How you will come to know about the other syntax? Is this information enough? Same way, if you go to the NSX-T and you ask for tier 1 building, then it will give all the small attributes information. Like in that profiles and many things are there, right? Do you see tier 1 somewhere in routing? Yeah, here. If you want to create tier 1, so you need display name, description, you need failure information, you need pool information, how you are going to tag it, how you are going to do the redistribution, any filter is there or not. All that information is available here compared to REST API. So might be I landed in wrong page, but you can see here it's tier 1 only. Okay, so it's having this much of information. API calls are there, but API calls, who is going to use it? Its scripting language is going to use the API call to collect the information, okay, and then to modify the information in RAM itself. So the best example of API call is something how script Python is going to use. Suppose, for example, you are going somewhere to buy something, right? So you'll go to that shop. The shop owner will give the 5 different products of that flavor. Then you have to choose one of them. Then you have to check your pricing, your budget, and based on that you have to purchase it, right? So those decisions where you are making on the fly. You are making it at that shop, not here, right? Same way, scripting language will be written in such a way that it will go and talk to the device with the API calls, and then it will make decision on the fly in the RAM itself, right? So those are things are there which are really good, but everything is having their pros and cons, right?
No, actually, regardless of anything, API calls are actually not allowed in companies or in production
Yeah,
environment. But
API call,
since
for API call, they are what do you call, very it will take very long time to configure and all these things.
Okay, and my second question is, so how much programming, I mean, knowledge is required or background is required? So let's say I need to learn Terraform. So is it like what I'm going to do is, will I be using only copy paste codes from the internet or from this repository, or like let's say as you said, like it is written in Go language. So do I need to have knowledge of object oriented programming, or I mean
No,
to play more with Terraform, or I'm just going to bluntly going to use copy paste codes
see,
which are
it's
already
not
available?
like it's not like copy paste. It's not like simply we are saying that just copy this information and then paste it. So your tier 1 is created. Every organization is having different requirements. Somebody needs this feature, somebody don't want this feature. Okay, if they want any additional, suppose 18 features are mentioned here and few features are there which are not mentioned, but they have given options here. Okay,
Okay, so
so
little
here
bit of programming, I think little
little
bit
bit
of
of
programming.
programming you should know. If you don't know the programming, I'll let you know the correct way of programming. You can also go ahead and validate that. So first my answer here is you should know the little bit of programming, but it's written in very common language, Go language. So here the object and their answer, attribute and their answers are mentioned here in one line. Okay, so
Okay.
generally everyone thinks that Python is the one which you should know, right? Whenever programming comes, then we'll think that we should know Python, correct? But it's not like that. You should not go for Python directly. So first, generally Python is when you are doing any when you are going to write any code hundreds of time or 15 number of time, that time Python is very good language. But initially if you are going to deploy a single router, then why you need Python here? Already code is available. I'll go ahead and give it to NSX, and the tier 1 will be written here, right? So first language, generally what, as per my understanding, we must go for PowerShell. We must go for Linux first. Shell scripting and Linux. Okay, then you can go ahead and move for PowerShell. With the help of PowerShell, you can do lot many things. For example, I do have lab, okay, and I want to shut down my lab. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and run this script. So this script will go ahead and talk to vCenter with this username and password, and it will exclude the vCenter where my vCenter is there, okay, and then it will go ahead and shut down the ESXi one by one, followed by that cluster. Okay, so there are lots of small scripts you can go ahead and
Okay,
do
so
it.
this is PowerShell script.
Yeah, this is PowerShell script. So
Okay.
what I am doing here, suppose I do have lab. Okay, I do have very big lab, you can say. Let me show you. So how I am maintaining that lab? I'm using PowerShell here. Do you see here lots of VMs are created for different students? Okay, so how
Hmm.
I'm going to deploy these ESXi as a VM? So simply I'm running one of a script and these VMs will get deployed within a minute, right? So PowerShell is very good language, which is Microsoft and VMware both are using heavily. So we can go ahead and use it, right? So this is how
Okay.
you can go ahead and do it. So this is my lab. I'm having 8 servers, physical servers. So you can see 300 plus RAM is there. And as of now, my lab is currently running wherever you are seeing ESXi. Two ESXi, one vCenter, one NS60 manager is there. If you can see, this is that NSX-T manager. It's having 2 nodes, which I recently installed. Okay, so this is how it's working. So now if I want to deploy these ESXi, so I'm taking help of scripting, PowerShell scripting. So simply I'll go ahead and say I'll go ahead and tell to my script that go to master and use this one and use 31 and go for the ESXi 3 and 4 simple. Okay, it will, if once I run the lab, then my 2 ESXi will be created with the help of this one. Okay, it's creating the ESXi. So it's deploying there, not here. You can see it here, it will deploy. Okay, ESXi 4 and 3. Deployment is done. So this way we can go ahead and use small scripts in order to build it. And the third is you can go for Terraform. So in Terraform, you can go ahead and automate your whole data center. Okay, even if including me, I did many, I did 4 to 5 data center automation. Okay, with the help of Terraform. And now, if you go to, if you means if you want to use different flavors and all these things, you can also go for Ansible. I have not done Ansible yet, but you can go for Ansible. And now, if you want to perform the Terraform task hundreds of time, okay, hundreds of time, then you can go ahead and use Python. So generally what happened, a student directly will think and directly go to Python, and Python mein jaake there they will face the heat and then they will come back. So if you go with this flow, then obviously I'm sure that you will not face any problem. And software engineer knows about Python, but he don't know how our infrastructure works. Okay, so there is a problem with them, and we also have a problem that we are very helpless with the means. Okay, anyway, come back to the point. You can see disaster recovery. You can also perform the disaster recovery. So what is disaster recovery? You can play with the primary and secondary data centers. So if any segment, any router is there attached to a segment where virtual machine is there. Okay, so something you can go ahead and deploy it with Terraform. So suppose this is Terraform. Here Terraform Bitbucket code is there. Okay, so this Bitbucket has deployed this router. Something goes wrong with this environment. Okay, so this Terraform will pick up this configuration and bring it here to secondary side within a minute. Okay, and then it's SRM. You have to take help of SRM or any DR tool. Then it will bring the VM as well. Okay, it will depublish, unpublish it from here and publish it here. So your routing is reachable from here, this side. This is DR side. So this DR can be performed with the help of Terraform. Okay, it also enhance security. As I told you, that means unwanted, all those things you won't be able to make it here, human errors and all. So lot many things are there. So if you guys work with me, then I'll give you everyone lab. You'll have everyone will have lab like this. I'll directly show you. Like the students who are there with me. Suppose I will take example of Fazal. Okay. Who did lab today? Okay, Mubin. So he's having ESXi 1 and 2 installed. He also is having his own vCenter and own NSX-T manager. Okay, like this you will have also all these three things, and then you can have your own jump box. From that jump box, you can go ahead and do the automation with your NSX-T. You can create your segments. You can create your security. There are lot many things are there to do in lab. I have defined it here. Why this is not working? Okay, it's working here. So if you see, you can have your lab on Windows. The way I'm executing, you can go ahead and do the execution. Okay, you'll authenticate first with NSX-T. That lab you'll go ahead and do it. Then you'll come to know the basic commands of init, apply, and plan. Okay, and destroy as well. So once this is done, then you can go ahead and start automating your NSX-T. So what we are going to cover, most of the things labs are there. Everyone knows about NSXT. So slowly we are going to learn how Terraform will work with NSXT. You can create your small groups, IP sets or VM based groups. Okay, you can create your virtual switches segments. The one which I created, right? You can create your segments, groups, criteria you can define. You can create your DFW firewalling. Okay, you have and or statements. How you are going to define it? You will do that. What is Terraform state file? Okay, and what is Terraform versioning? How it's happening, and then how to create the Terraform tier ones, tier zeros. There are lots of BGP configuration, IPv4, IPv6 configuration. What is the
So
out?
this Terraform command, so like we run from VMware CLI or like ESXi host level or कैसा करना है?
Pardon?
This VMware, so this Terraform commands or codes. So we run from like VMware CLI or at ESXi host level or like
No,
how
no,
it
no,
is.
no. See, I'm going to give you a lab. Okay, I
Okay.
didn't get your question. You are going to get a lab in
No,
lab.
my question was from where exactly we run this Terraform? From where?
Oh,
I mean,
Terraform from
VM.
your Windows machine. This jump box. This jump
Okay.
box I'm going to give. You can RDP to this jump box. Okay. Only one
Okay, and
minute.
it will give input directly to NSX manager, is it?
Only 1 minute, please. Azan ho
Yeah.
raha hai, so that's the reason I'm not able to concentrate here. Only 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So here, what you are going to get as a candidate, two ESXi. Okay, one NSXT manager and one vCenter. If you wish, you can go ahead and install it. Otherwise, I'll complete it by this one, automation. Okay, so you are going to get all four components with one jump box. So from this jump box, you are going to hit to the Terraform, and then you are going to build your code. What code you are going to build? You are going to have your own things like your own segments. How you are going to create the
Mm-hmm.
resources? How you are going? You can do the firewalling. Okay, In firewalling, there are lots many things are there. Okay, you can create your tier ones, tier zero, small settings, profiles. Okay, you can create your BGP neighbors. You can create your BGP neighbor with output value. Okay, if you don't know far away neighbor information, so you can generate it as output and then you can do it. You can have the tagging system. Okay, you can assign those tagging to segments.
साबिर सर, आई
Yeah.
थिंक नीतीश का क्वेश्चन या शायद मेरा भी सेम ही क्वेश्चन है कि टेराफॉर्म है तो हम विंडोज पे अलग से एप्लीकेशन इंस्टॉल करते और वहां से फिर हम एक्सेस करते NSX-T मैनेजर एंड वहां से कमांड्स रन करते हैं हम डायरेक्टली जंप बॉक्स पे जो टेराफॉर्म का जो भी एप्लीकेशन रहेगा वहां से कमांड्स रन करते हैं.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So exactly, like we will push on NSXT, and so like we can push on vCenter as well as on NSXT. Is it like how it works?
See, yeah, you can also push it to vCenter as well. You can also
Okay,
push it
so
to
that was the question. Yeah, okay, okay,
ESXi as well. How you from where you are going to push from your laptop or desktop.
okay, okay.
Okay,
So
it's
just
not having any
mhm.
agent or serverless. It's serverless. You can do it
Okay,
from your laptop. See,
okay,
it
okay.
here I'm doing it from my machine. You know, see, I'm doing it from machine. I'm going to destroy it. So your question was from where you are going to do it. See, I did it.
Yes.
Just I destroyed it. This is my PowerShell, or you can also do it from command prompt. Wherever the code is there in my device, right? From there, I'm going to implement it. So as of now, the code is written in my this Windows machine. So from here, I am deploying it and doing it.
साबिर सर, अभी जो आपके स्क्रीन पे जो टैब्स है जिसपे
Mhm.
सारे स्क्रिप्ट्स वगैरह लिखे हुए हैं तो वो कोई एप्लीकेशन है या क्या है वो?
ये tabs ये application, these are the codes. So don't go in these codes. I'll delete it. Otherwise,
तो ये एप्लीकेशन आपके मशीन पर है क्या,
ये
लोकल मशीन
एप्लीकेशन
पर?
मेरे मशीन पे है। ये विंडो ये दिस इज द विजुअल स्टूडियो कोड। विजुअल स्टूडियो का एक एप्लीकेशन है, जैसे नोटपैड प्लस प्लस आता है, राइट?
हाँ 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 हाँ.
यू गाइस गो अहेड एंड यूज नोटपैड एंड नोटपैड प्लस प्लस, तो ये कलरिंग वगैरह आपको नहीं पता चलेगा एक्सटेंशन। सेम कोड आई कैन गो अहेड एंड ओपन इट इन दिस लैंग्वेज एज वेल, दिस वन हियर एज वेल। सी,
नोटपैड, नॉर्मल नोटपैड.
नोटपैड में ओपन करूंगा तो वो वैसे नहीं दिखेगा, राइट, जैसे मुझे चाहिए।
ओके.
सी,
इजी विजुअलिटी के लिए.
वैसे नहीं दिख रहा ना, जैसे मैं इसमें भी कोडिंग कर सकता हूँ मैं, ठीक है, लेकिन मुझे वो मेरे एरर्स वगैरह अगर कुछ होगा तो वो मुझे समझ में नहीं आएगा कहाँ पे एरर है। देखो मैंने अभी यहाँ पे कट किया तो आई एम नॉट एबल टू जज वेयर इज द प्रॉब्लम, राइट?
राइट राइट.
इफ आई डू इट फ्रॉम दिस आईडी, ओके, यहाँ से अगर मैं करूंगा तो ये डिटेक्ट कर लेगा, क्योंकि इसको वो उसका एक्सटेंशन इसमें इंस्टॉल्ड है। इसने पूरा रेड कर दिया, देख रहे हो?
ये पावर शेल एप्लीकेशन है क्या?
नो, ये
विंडोज.
VMware सॉरी माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का विजुअल स्टूडियो कोड का एप्लीकेशन है,
ओके.
ठीक है? तो ये एप्लीकेशन में आप कोई भी लैंग्वेज में आप यहाँ पे सिर्फ ये आपको राइट करने के लिए, इट डजंट हैव एनी अदर फीचर, सिर्फ आपको रिटर्न बिटन का थोड़ा बहुत और दूसरे भी दे देगा। अच्छा टूल है ये, दैट देयर इज एन एवरीवन यूजेस। अब जैसे मुझे पेंट में यूज कर रहा हूँ, राइट, फॉर डिफरेंट पर्पस, नोटपैड में यूज कर रहा हूँ, तो यहाँ पे पेंट में मुझे सिंप्लीफिकेशन है, आई एम गोइंग टू यूज इट। नीतीश,
Okay, so actually मेरे को कैसा लगा था कि like this HashiCorp is a provider, so I thought it is HashiCorp tool. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है क्या? Or it is just the provider?
वो टूल ऐसे
I
इंस्टॉल
mean,
करते हैं, आपके फाइल में जाना है।
अभी जैसा ये माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का तो दूसरा वेंडर हो गया, अगर मेरे को नॉर्मली यूज करना है, so like I will write in Notepad और कैसा करूँगा मैं?
ये आपको नोटपैड में लिखना होता है .tf फॉर्मेट में,
Okay,
और ये जहाँ पर भी ये फाइल है वहाँ फाइल में जाके आपको उसका प्लगइन डाउनलोड करना पड़ता है, ऐसे जैसे मैंने किया ना अभी टेराफॉर्म इनिट, तो यहाँ पे इसका प्लगइन डाउनलोड हो गया, और उसके बाद में आप उसको प्लान डिस्ट्रॉय ऐसे बहुत से कमांड से वो अप्लाई वगैरह कर सकते हैं। जैसे कि मैं अभी अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ, तो ये अप्लाई में ये मुझे बता रहा है कि आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ सेगमेंट।
मतलब टेराफॉर्म का अपना खुद का कोई प्रॉम्प्ट नहीं है?
नहीं, यू
Okay,
कैन ऑल्सो डू इट फ्रॉम द कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट एज वेल, ठीक है? तो मैं
Okay,
जनरली पावर शेल से करते हैं
okay,
इंजीनियर।
okay.
तो यहाँ पे मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ कि एक मुझे ये बनाना है, एक सेगमेंट बनाना है, मैं यस कर दिया तो ये क्या करेगा, प्रोडक्शन में जाके एक सेगमेंट बना देगा। Got it? So like this,
साबिर भाई, ये हम लोग XML का जो स्क्रिप्टिंग करते हैं वो और ये सेम है क्या, मतलब सिंटैक्स वाइज?
थोड़ा तो अलग है। देखो उन्नीस बीस आगे पीछे होते हैं, सेम तो नहीं होता है लेकिन अलग अलग होते हैं, उसके फीचर्स भी अलग अलग होते हैं। आप समझोगे कि भाई यहाँ पे जाएंगे और यहाँ से तो पूरा कोड तो मिल गया, लेकिन आपका रिक्वायरमेंट इसमें फिट नहीं होता। ठीक है, ये तो जेसन का भी, जेसन भी ऐसे ही दिखता है। अगर आप देखोगे जेसन, जेसन में भी आप यहाँ पे एक वेरिएबल होता है और उसका आंसर होता है, राइट।
बट फिर भी ये थोड़ा ज्यादा सिंप्लीफाइड है
हाँ,
कंपेयर टू
सिंपली
जेसन।
जितना सिंप्लीफाइड रहेगा उतना वो यूजर उसको ऑप्ट करेंगे। आप सी प्लस प्लस में करोगे तो यही चीज को लिखने को 10 पेज लिखना पड़ेगा। गॉट इट?
Okay.
Okay, Sabir bhai, so just one last question from my side. It is important for my use case. So, abhi for Terraform, do we only using for a new deployment? So, let's say, abhi मेरे यहाँ पे कैसा है कि we have NSX-T 3.2 or we need to migrate on NSX-4. So, can we use Terraform just for like migration purpose? So, let's say at one side we have 1,000 of firewall rules, and can we use Terraform to migrate it to the other environment? For
Yeah,
so,
you
can
can
we
use
use?
for migration, but here the question here is you are moving from NSXT to NSA, upgrading it, right?
Okay, let's say we are going for like 3.2 to 3.2 with in same environment. So can we use Terraform?
No, why it's required?
So
Even NSXT himself will do it by himself.
no, no. Just
Terraform
let's
is.
say we have two different location, right? So we are going
Hmm.
from Munich to Frankfurt from two different location, and I need to migrate firewall rules.
Hmm.
I have a thousand of firewall rules, but
Yeah.
I don't have any automation
Hmm.
right now.
So
So
you
can we use
can,
Terraform?
yeah, you can use Terraform from, see, from one to another. You can go ahead and use it. See,
So
Terraform
can
is to write the, see, यहाँ पे you have to validate your requirement first. Within same version you are moving or from different versions, different
let's say
product.
firstly let's say I'm going for same version. It is just a different NSXT or the NSXT manager, as it is a different location.
हाँ,
Okay, so my expectation is I need to get all the output of my firewall rules. Let's say I have 1,000 of firewall rule, 1,000 firewall rule. So I want to collect those firewall rule and use the Terraform and push to the other side
got it. You can use it.
without any
Yeah, you
without
can
any
use it.
manual work. Okay,
Yeah.
so is it
So
possible?
suppose for example ये तो अभी मैनुअल में है, मैनुअल फॉर्म में, तो you have to convert it into Terraform language. So now Python काम आएगा आपके। अभी ये these are the manual rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can take backup, you can import and export it. That is fine. But you want it into in Terraform format, right?
Mm-hmm.
So उसके लिए you need Python now. पाइथन पावर शेल आप काम आएगा तुम्हारे, क्योंकि थाउजेंड्स ऑफ रूल्स है। टेराफॉर्म के सिंटैक्स में वो आपको राइट करके देगा एज एन आउटपुट। मेरे साथ भी प्रॉब्लम हुआ था व्हेन आई वाज डूइंग माइग्रेशन फ्रॉम एनवी टू टी। सो दैट टाइम थाउजेंड्स ऑफ रूल्स है, हंड्रेड्स ऑफ रूल्स थे, और मुझे एक्सेल शीट में करने को बहुत भारी पड़ रहा था, नहीं क्या 5-5 घंटे जा रहे थे उसको।
Mm-hmm.
तो आई आस्क्ड दैट सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर टू हेल्प मी टू टेक इनपुट फ्रॉम दिस एंड गिव आउटपुट इन टेराफॉर्म। तो उसने वैसे इनपुट
Okay.
दिया, आउटपुट पाइथन के हेल्प से करा के दे दिया। सो घंटों का काम मिनटों में हो गया। There are lot many use cases which we can discuss. Okay, it's not only limited with this
So
one.
we cannot get like already downloaded firewall rules in
नहीं,
Terraform
वैसे
format?
नहीं
वो
होता है,
possible नहीं.
नहीं है,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
आपको बनाना पड़ेगा। So like this guys, just I was going through my lab. So within next 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So you can go ahead and create your tier 0, tier 1s, BGPs, taggings, VLAN back segments, whatever you are doing in NSXT, you can go ahead and do it here. Okay, you can how to bulk upload the IPs. You can turn on and off firewalls by sitting in Terraform. Okay, then you can also automate your data centers with variable file. So what is variable file means? Suppose you have built one code for your one customer. So how you are going to use it multiple time? So that strategy I'll go ahead and show you. Okay, how you are going to use it for 100 times. Only you have to change the inputs. Okay, how you are going to use the bit bucket to push and synchronize and to formalize your operation day-to-day changes. Then how you are going to use the DR and SR, how you are going to unplug the segment from one environment and plug it to another environment. The DR which I explained, right, here to there. So that configuration also you can do. So there are a lot many things. If you guys are interested, you can go ahead and build by your own. Everyone will have their own lab and they can do whatever they want. Okay, so that's all from my side. This is what the demo class is, and it's all up to you guys. Any question?
Sabir sir, Imran this side.
Yeah, Imran.
So, can we use Terraform for other technologies like cloud, Azure cloud, or other any platform?
What do you think?
Suppose any means.
Yes,
Suppose
you
we
can use it.
deploy our initial configuration, we need to prepare. So, can we push such kind of programming?
Correct. See, Terraform is, see, whatever Terraform we are going to learn, that is not limited to one vendor. You can apply it to AWS, Azure, Checkpoint, Palo Alto. You can see it here, right? On my screen.
So now
Yeah.
we are using for NSX-T only, right?
Yeah, see, this time I am going to use it for NSX-T. But in
Okay.
future, suppose in your organization, after learning here, you went to your organization. Okay, in your organization, if you can identify a task which you are doing continuously. Okay, here I see you are creating address groups. Okay, so what you can do is you can just explain to your manager that let others create the address group. Here allow me to create by my own, right? You can go ahead and push it through this one. Then your, if your manager agrees with this, then you can go ahead and deploy through Terraform. Suppose services. Okay, AT service. So how you are creating AT service? You are going to Panorama and then you are going to create it. So you can propose to your manager that instead of creating manually, just that engineer has to submit a change, submit a request, or then they have to tell it to me. I'll copy and paste this multiple time and then I'll change it. So that service will be available within a minute. Have you got my point? So by copying and pasting it 100 times and then giving that input will automatically create it. Suppose in Excel form you got 100 different services requirement. Okay, so you can write an Excel script which will give you output 100 times with by copying those 100 ports 100 times. You got my point? एक्सेल में ऐसे फीचर्स है कि कोई कॉलम है ना, कोई रो है, वो रो में से वो डेटा उठाएगा एंड देन ही विल पुट इट हियर एंड योर कोड इज रेडी. So those hundreds services you can push it in one go. Panorama. So that feature you can go ahead and explain it to manager. Service group hai, other features are also there. Even if you want to go for any other vendor, you can also go ahead and किसी का अलग vendor है, किसी का अलग vendor है. It's all up to you.
Can we use this Terraform for SDWAN technology?
Yeah, Miraki, do you see here?
Uh,
Click here and then check.
about SDWAN Viptel or something.
Yeah, you can go ahead and use it. But it's the question is the Terraform must be ready with that. The product must be matured. They are covering slowly, right? See, these many features you can go ahead and automate with Meraki. Okay. Okay, guys. Any question before we wrap it up? Okay, and let me tell you something about lab within a minute. So this lab is available over internet. Anyone can, means the one is, I am giving the control to this candidate, so they are seeing this as a RDP, which you can see it here, and then they will get like console like this. They will access their vCenter, and then they will access their NSX-T manager, and then they can do whatever they need, as I am doing here. Okay, so this is how it works. Fine, I'm done from my side, guys. So let me stop recording.
So इंडिविजुअल को एक लैब एक्सेस मिलेगा क्या, मतलब आरडीपी
हर एक को अपना अपना मिलेगा. एक ये वो तो कॉमन आरडीपी रहेगा, ठीक है, लेकिन लैब सबको अपना अपना मिलेगा. लैब मींस
तो बकेट लिस्ट है, सब कोई कॉमन प्रोग्राम बना रहे हैं और उसमें ऐड ऑन कर रहे हैं, तो वो कैसे पता चलेगा?
नहीं, वो आप आपका कर लो, लेटर ऑन यू कैन डू इट. सी, यहाँ पे वट एवर यू आर राइटिंग योर कोड, यू कैन सेव इट ऑन योर बिट बकेट, योर ओन बिट बकेट, राइट. और आप आपके जम बॉक्स तो सबका कॉमन रहेगा. यहाँ पे कोई ये इसमें लॉग इन करेगा, यू विल हैव योर ओन NSX-T मैनेजर, योर ओन vCenter, योर ओन ESXi. यू डू वट एवर यू वांट टू डू.
अभी अगर मुझे इसमें से ACI भी ऐड करने तो कर सकते हैं ना इधर?
नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि ACI इसमें इंटीग्रेट नहीं होता है ना. क्या होता है अभी का वर्जन?
टेराफॉर्म में दिखा रहा था ना, उसमें है क्या
नहीं,
मतलब?
एसीआई कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो टेरेफॉर्म को बात करने ही नहीं देगा ना।
अच्छा।
एसीआई का जो आता है ना ओवीए, जो भी फाइल आता है, वो डिप्लॉयमेंट का सिर्फ ओवरले पे ही होता है, वो ना किसी को बाहर को कनेक्ट करने ही नहीं देता है। क्या देता है?
नहीं, बट हम लोग जैसे ये XML वाला स्क्रिप्ट करते हैं और पोस्ट करते हैं, तो मैनुअली वी कैन क्रिएट द स्क्रिप्ट
ये,
एंड पोस्ट इट, राइट?
बट यू आर डूइंग इन प्रोडक्शन राइट, नॉट इन लैब।
या प्रोडक्शन?
लैब में पॉसिबल नहीं है।
प्राइवेट लैब है भाई, उद्धव भाई, प्राइवेट लैब है उनका।
तुम्हारा वो तुम ऑफिस में कर सकते हो, यहाँ पे नहीं कर सकते हो, क्योंकि यहाँ पे इट्स नॉट अलाउड टू हिट द एसीआई फ्रॉम आउटसाइड बाय यूजिंग वर्चुअलाइज्ड वीएम बेस्ड लैब।
अच्छा, बट एटलीस्ट वो तो ये अगर NSX-T के साथ कर रहे हैं, और मैं जो कोडिंग का जो जो भी स्टेप्स रहेगा वो तो सेम रहेगा ना?
वो सेम रहेगा। मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, एक बार आपने NSX-T सीख लिया, मल्टीपल टाइम बेस्ड ऑन योर इंटरेस्ट एंड रिक्वायरमेंट यू कैन डू इट।
अभी प्रॉब्लम ये है, मेरा NSX-T का प्रैक्टिकल नहीं हुआ है, मतलब थियरी जितना है उतना ही पता है, और एक
ओके,
ट्रेनिंग हुआ था 4-5 दिन का, और हम लोगों ने सर्टिफिकेशन दिया है, उसके बाद कुछ हुआ नहीं है।
तो वही तो प्रॉब्लम है, फिर उसके लिए मेरे पास दूसरा कोर्स है।
पर इसमें थोड़ा ये मतलब एटलीस्ट
देखो, यहाँ पे अगर आप टेराफॉर्म करोगे तो मैं NSX-T ऑब्वियसली नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा, राइट। मैं समझूंगा कि आपको यू नो अबाउट टीयर 0 टीयर 1 सेगमेंट्स एंड ऑल।
हाँ वो पता है, बट प्रैक्टिकली क्रिएट नहीं किया है कभी ऐसा।
तो प्रैक्टिकली अपने नीतीश भाई को आता है, नीतीश भाई करवा के देंगे। क्या बोलते हैं नीतीश भाई? नहीं तो मेरे पास कुछ
कहाँ
भी
का?
नहीं। नीतीश भाई, इन्होंने अभी तक सेगमेंट्स नहीं बनाए, प्रैक्टिकल नहीं किया, सिर्फ थ्योरी किया।
अरे भाई प्रैक्टिकल तो किया होगा ना, लैब तो जब सर्टिफिकेट किया तो उद्धव।
उतना ही किया है, उसके बाद क्या है
ने,
वो भूल गए।
नीतीश भाई वो नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट होता है, यहाँ अपने पास नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट नहीं है। अपने पास ये खुद को करना होता है, अपना अपना लैब खुद ही बनाओ।
सबीर
हाँ
सर, आप मेरा लैब का एग्जांपल बता सकते हैं? जब मैंने आपके पास NSX-T का क्लास किया है ना,
राइट।
मेरा लैब 19 है, जिसके अंदर मैंने खुद ये एक्सरसाइज डिप्लॉय किए, VMware vCenter, NSX-T मैनेजर, एजेस किए,
आप
कंट्रोलर
स्टेप
डाले।
मतलब आप वो तो देखो ना, करना क्या है वो तो आप बता दोगे ना, तो फिर कर लेंगे, वो तो प्रैक्टिस भी हो जाएगा वो तो।
ठीक है, चलेगा, मैं वो बता देता हूँ।
हाँ
मीन्स
फिर ठीक
सुनो,
है।
प्रॉब्लम क्या है यहाँ पे, कर देंगे, कोई भी कोई बात नहीं, उद्धव भाई सब हो जाएगा तुम्हारा। तुम एकदम पूरे परफेक्ट आदमी हो, थोड़ा बता देंगे तो पूरा कर लेंगे। क्या बोलते हैं?
ठीक
हम्म।
है।
लेकिन करना है कि नहीं आप डिसाइड करो। मैं तुमको अच्छे से ऐसा बताता हूँ कि तुम्हारा फायदा ही होगा। आज तुम टेराफॉर्म सीख के जाओगे। शुड आई स्टॉप रिकॉर्डिंग?
हाँ हाँ। यस।
ठीक है, तो आज तुम टेराफॉर्म सीखोगे।